I've actually built a couple of homes. Literally, I learned enough about carpentry and things like that to be dangerous, and I built two of our own personal homes. And I know how incredibly important blueprints are. To work with an architect that takes your ideas and your dreams and gets them down on paper and then creates a plan for you to follow to be sure what you're building is what was in your heart and what you desired and dreamed for. Now it's interesting that Jesus said that he would build the church, and he called us to extend the kingdom. And I wonder sometimes why, pastors and churches, and I've been a pastor, so I put myself in the same camp, talk about building the church. We're going to build the church, meaning we're going to grow the church, we're going to make it larger. And yet, Jesus said he would build the church, we're to extend the kingdom. Now, in fairness, it's sort of an artificial distinction because the people are the church and they're the ones that build the kingdom. But, the American church is an interesting study in how it evolved and developed its viewpoint on what success is. We pretty much have adopted the American culture, which says if it's bigger and shinier and bigger, it's better. And so the church success is about bigger buildings. It's about bigger crowds, bigger budgets. And yet, is that what Jesus wanted us to really build? Was that what he called us to do? We have so defined success largely by bigger crowds that it's not even really about conversions. If we get people to transfer to our church, if we've got the best show in town and people leave their church to come to our church and our numbers grow, we call that success, even though no one has even been added to the kingdom in that. As long as we have more than the church down the street or most churches, then we consider ourselves successful. Or if our denomination tells us, you've done a great job, they don't even look past the fact that maybe most of these new people were already Christians from another place. I'm suggesting that we really do need to redefine what success in the church is. I would prefer to say maybe we ought to measure by what happens in the community. What kind of impact? Yeah, I think we need to measure conversion growth. I really do think we need to count how many people are really added to the church as they did in Acts. But even beyond that, too, what kind of influence and impact are we having on our communities? What kind of influence and impact are we having on the social ills that have plagued the community? Are we helping them, joining to make those things disappear? Are we giving ourselves away to those felt needs of both the community and to individual people? So we need to, I really believe, redefine success for the church. Out of that, so much will change. If suddenly it's what happens in the community, not what happens within the walls of my church in terms of its own growth, then that's going to foster cooperation because I'm going to need the church down the street to help us make an impact. Rather than being the competition, I need the collaboration that will make a difference in the community because I probably can't do it by myself. So dear friend, I want to warn us that we are building what was in the heart and mind of God when he said, I will build the church. Now he's going to use us to do that, but do we know what that really looks like, and are we measuring the right kind of success? I'm suggesting that it's not about bigger crowds and bigger buildings and bigger budgets. It's about impacting the community and really seeing people come to know the Lord, but also influencing, bringing the kingdom to all the problems and felt needs of the community. And we can measure those things. And that, I believe, is what defines success. And that's the church that Jesus dreamed he would build.